Okay, it's been a long day, so I'm just going to do it this way. All right. So, I know clients don't quite understand what it looks like when we do a package. What exactly is involved? When I get a client for a package, if it's a behavior client or if it's a regular client, I have to write a behavior plan. Basically tells me where the dog's starting out, what owners have done, um, what I've done as I go along. I kind of add to this. Kind of gives me a guideline. So every time I do a lesson with a client, that I kind of see what I need to change, and I just put it in there. It's kind of like a lesson plan. It makes it much easier for me to kind of see where I'm going. Um, those take hours. Um, I charge about $285 to do one. Um, that's when I first sit down with a client and they're I'm starting to learn how their dog works. So the cost of doing one of those is about $285. Because they're in depth, they take a lot of work. Um, because not only when I'm doing those am I doing regular lessons, I have to do a thing where I sit down and I might have to talk to your vet. I might have to email back and forth with them. Um, might have to email back and forth with you. And by the time I get done, I'm anywhere between 4 to 6 hours of work. Now, if I have to do multiple vets, which sometimes one vet's not comfortable with doing medication, and I have to refer to another vet that is comfortable doing medication, um, it runs about the same, another 4 to 6 hours, because I have to write these in-depth reports for these vets and answer questions, and you know, um, I charge for my time, charge for my experience, and that runs about $50 an hour. That's my rate um, for working. Um, so 4 to 6 hours. So there's 200 at 4, 300. So you're hitting $500 coming out the gate, and then another bit of time for me being there every time I'm there. Um, there's a reason I charge more for dogs who have behavior issues. I don't do basic puppy packages with these dogs just because of the amount of work I have to put in. I might have to bounce ideas off of other trainers, speak to vet behaviorists, speak to the vets I work with throughout the training with this dog. I might have to speak to my colleagues. And this is where burnout comes in. Every hour we're there with your dog, we've put in about 4 hours worth of work. Um, Average over the time we work with your dog. Um, because when we get done with training your dog, we have to dictate all of the things that happened in the session. If we have to keep up with the vet, we have to, email back and forth with our vet to let them know what is going on, where we're at. It's not just me come train your dog and work with your dog. In order for me to go to one client, I have to have all that training plan up to date. I have to have the number of treats I'm going to need. Um, I might have to use Adaptil, which is $25 a bottle. Um, and there are some dogs that I have to use a quarter bottle of Adaptil to coat myself with, plus I'll have to hand it to the owner, and the owner has to put it on the dog's collar or on its bandana. Um, and the treats that I use are really expensive. Um, I use stuff like dehydrated chicken, dehydrated fish, Ziwi Peak, um, Real Meat Company, uh, dog food rolls, Red Barn, Stella and Chewy's. If you've been paying attention, not a single one of those treats is under $20 a bag. Not one. Because I have to have your dog's attention. I have to use stuff that is going to cause them to pay attention to me, and ignore distractions. So by the time I get started with a client, they may pay, we'll say puppy package, $750 for an advanced puppy for a dog that has, or sorry, we'll do adult, we'll put it as adult basic, or $750 for me coming in and working with this dog. By the time I get done with it, I might make $300 off of it. This is where burnout comes in, especially when we have clients that don't comply. They pay me to be there, pay me to do all this work, all this legwork, all this paperwork for them, and then they ignore what I tell them to do. Or they don't like my suggestions, so they ignore them. Or they don't want to train how I need them to train for their dog, and their dog doesn't get better. And then they get angry with me. There is a reason when I am working with a dog that the dog pays attention to me, because I'm there for the dog. I'm not there for the owner. I don't care how the owner wants me to work with the dog. I am there to work with behavior issues, and if what you were doing was working, I wouldn't be there. This is one of the things trainers deal with on a daily basis. We work our butts off on stuff like this. Recently, I had a client that did this with 2 dogs for them, and they tried pulling the money back from their bank, and by the time that they had done this, I had already went through all that money, because I had already pre-purchased treats and stuff for their dogs, in order for the lifetime of the plan of their dog, and I'd already given them a discount. This is one of those things that there's a reason some of us put packages out there to make it cost less for you. Because if we charge you individually for each and every item we're going to do, our packages are going to hit the $2,000 to $3,000 range. I love what I do. I love helping dogs. But it's exhausting when we have to go back and deal with this kind of thing from clients that seem to have this entitled idea that despite what the governor mandates, despite what our insurance companies tell us, that we're not allowed to go out. And if we offer them, solutions for their dogs that, are what their dogs need anyways, and they don't want to do them, we pay for it. It costs us to work for you. We end up paying to work for you. Because we have late fees. Our bills don't stop just because you decide to pull money out. It's not okay to do that to anyone in the service industry. The way things work in this industry is, a lot of times we don't make a profit. That $300 that I might make, usually $100 of that goes in my gas tank. And yes, that is with the $100 gas charge that I give clients. So I might make, by the time I pay myself, feed myself to go back and forth, incidentals like, client's dog eats my clicker, or, strap on my treat pouch breaks, maybe $50. We don't do this job to get rich. We really don't. And people don't realize that, and it sucks. It really, really sucks. The type of training I do, if you put in the work, you'll get the behavior. You may not get exactly what you want, but my goal is not to give you exactly what you want. My goal is to make it so that your dog can be livable. Your dog can live within realistic expectations. Your dog should be able to tolerate being around you, to be comfortable with you, to not lose their mind when they see another dog, to be able to walk on a leash if they're comfortable being walked on a leash. Some dogs don't like going on walks. Some dogs don't like other dogs. It's they're individuals as much as we are, and that's the hardest part, I think. Clients have these unrealistic expectations of what's going to happen, and we try as much as possible to be very clear with them. Feral dogs, 7 to 8 months worth of work at minimum, 1 year preferred, just because they take time. Aggression cases, 6 to 8 months on some. And I don't work with minimal aggression. I work with dogs that are extremely reactive, extremely. I work with several dogs that have caused severe bites, or killed other dogs. It's one of those things that making it so that another dog doesn't end up euthanized because the owner's unrealistic expectations, that's a thing. Peace out. Happy training.